Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted.
Whoa, what's happening, people? That does not look good. Does that look good? That looks good. That does not look good. Does that look good? My monitor here is really whacked. Wow, something bad happened. Okay, but it looks good on my display here. Hold your rock and roll. Welcome, everybody. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you'll be alerted for new videos. And some point in the future, I have to shave this beard, but not today. In the news, what we're finding out is there's going to be a new government in Venezuela. Now, for those that you are not aware, Venezuela has been suffering immense economic and social unrest due to socialism. Hey, libtards, do you think that we've learned our lesson by now? That socialism doesn't work, does not work? You're seeing what's happening in Venezuela. The Venezuelan people are suffering. They've been suffering. Now, as a real recap, the previous president was a communist. He died in office, and the person who took over his position was, what's his name? What's his name? Forgot his name, man. This is live and unscripted. I just heard about this. This came out about an hour ago, this report. But the person who took over used to be, Maduro. President Maduro. He used to be a bus driver. Guys, he used to be a bus driver. Okay, nothing wrong with bus drivers, but I don't know how many people really want their socialist utopia to be run by bus drivers, but that's what you had there. Okay? That's what you had there. And was a communist, of course. And he was trying to continue the, Fidel Castro-inspired socialist agenda. And it just went from bad to worse. So what has happened is the people have been demonstrating, and there was demonstrations available. You can see some of these mass protests, these anti-Maduro rallies. There has to be 2, 3, maybe 400,000 people, maybe even more. There was a video, and you're seeing some of the shots here. There was somebody filming this from above a high-rise building, and that crowd was just for blocks on blocks. Oh, there was at the bottom. Just incredible. Hundreds of thousands of people. Look at that. There we go. Mass anti-Maduro rally demands change in Venezuela. So this is sort of the backdrop of what's been happening. Okay, now, Guardo, who pictured earlier, the young man, he's 35, he's leader of the opposition-controlled National Assembly. He declared himself, look how many people are in that picture. I mean, think about that. 2 boulevards just jam-packed with people. Several 100,000, if not 1 million people demonstrating. And Guardo, he's 35, he declared himself interim president, and Donald J. Trump has recognized him as the president. There's reports that Guardo would not, his name is Juan Guardo, he would not do this unless he had the support of the military and the United States. And of course, we know that obviously he has the support of the military and he has the support of the United States because President Trump has recognized him. Now, the Maduro was never actually elected. It was when the previous Chavez, was it Chavez? Hugo Chavez When Hugo Chavez, who was the Venezuelan socialist leader, died, Maduro took over. There was no election. So that's kind of like the little bit of the hocus pocus. What they're saying is, hey, Maduro was never actually elected. And what Maduro, now factually, what Maduro has been doing is been killing all of the opposition leaders, right? And it's just become a hellhole there. You know, people starving. What was it? Not smallpox, or various communicable diseases being spread now because people don't have sanitary conditions. Shortages of food, people eating pigeons and dogs and farm animals, and not farm animals, zoo animals. So it's really been horrible. And the big picture is that Venezuela is sitting on a sea of oil. It used to be said that it was the world's largest known reserves of oil. It's not sweet crude, it's a heavy crude, which requires extra refining, but it's still a valuable, I mean, they screwed everything up. They screwed everything up with the socialist utopian by trying to give everything away. It just made things worse. It didn't make things better. So, I mean, this is just another example of socialism not working. So, I wanted to talk about that. That's what's up. It just happened about an hour ago. Yeah, people are eating dogs and cats, and you know, they broke into the zoo. They're eating zoo animals. I mean, this has been going on for quite a while. Actually, since the Obama years, so over 2 years now, more than 2 years, this has been a problem. So, I mean, my hope is that, and let's see here, the new president has said that Guaido has said that he will hold free elections very soon, and they'll bring democracy back. Okay, basically, you just need to back. I mean, look, people are desperate. This is something to think about. And maybe it's good that this guy stepped up to take control. Guaido, maybe he's, you know, I mean, look, who knows? We're going to find out more details. Perhaps he's the front man, or the the pretty face for other people behind him, the military or whatever else. But there needs to be a change in this country. Otherwise, I mean, it's just, zombie apocalypse for real. And that's what's happening there. Now, so it's too early to know what's going to happen long term, but like the hope is, the desire is that this new president will reform things, perhaps bring back free market economics, and allow the society, the people, to get back to the business of having a normal civilization. I mean, this was the wealthiest country in South America. It used to be, right? For a while. The most prosperous because of all this oil money. But they squandered this, and you see what happens. I mean, socialism always leads to death and destruction. And unfortunately, just another example. So, I hope people realize that, and stop demanding or thinking that socialism they just didn't do it the right way. This was a super rich country with oil revenues, and look what happened to it. Socialism always fails. So, changing subjects, but transition to another failure, and that is Nancy Pelosi, who invited President Trump to give the State of the Union address, I believe on January the 6th or January the 9th, sent President Trump the invitation letter for him to give his State of the Union address on January 29th. Of course, the government shutdown started on December 22nd, so perhaps Nancy Pelosi didn't think it would last this long. So after inviting the president to give the State of the Union, Nancy Pelosi then asked for the president to postpone the State of the Union. And, of course, the president refused. Nancy Pelosi tried to go to Afghanistan on a government jet with a bunch of people, and basically a wagon train full of suitcases. I don't know if people saw that. You can find that information where she had basically they showed you how much luggage Nancy Pelosi was taking. She was going to visit supposedly the troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. That trip was canceled. The president denied her access to a government jet to her and her party, instead suggesting that she's free to use commercial air if she'd like. You just pay for it yourself. But that was a really, I think, a killer move by the president. So now technically, there has to be a joint resolution to hold the State of the Union address in the House of Representatives, because it is the State of the Union presented to a joint a joint session of Congress, and we may not get that, right? We may not get that from this government, but I think the president. Why do you have to deliver the State of the Union at a joint session of Congress? I mean, I guess, is that tradition? I don't know that if that's actual law. I'm not aware, but I mean, I think may even be better optics to just go down to the border and rent a stadium or an airplane hangar and do a presidential rally where you present the State of the Union address and emphasize once again the need for the $5.6 billion to be appropriated so that we can build the wall and end the government shutdown. We are now in the 33rd day of the government shutdown, and according to federal regulations, if there is a second shutdown, at this point, I guess the president could issue what's known as a secondary shutdown, and all of those non-essential government employees can then be furloughed, which means essentially fired. And from what I've been told, or what I've read, they would only require 60 days notice, which means basically they would get 2 months severance pay and then be out the door. So the president has not discussed this, but obviously a lot of people on the internet and just people who are wanting to drain the swamp are aware of this. Yeah, okay, so here it is. So this is breaking news from 29 minutes ago. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tells President Trump she won't consider resolution allowing State of the Union until government has opened. So that's what I was talking about earlier. A resolution has to be passed by the House and by the House, so that there would be a joint session of Congress, so-called joint session of Congress. It just means both bodies will be together in a single room, so that the president can address them at one time. But listen, I mean, we have the internet. Everybody has basically access to on your phone, right? You have access to everything on your phone, practically, right? So I don't know why we actually need that anymore, but we'll find out. So this is the nonsense, and I think I think just your average person is saying, "What the f is going on? Why are you doing this?" It's so easy to appropriate such a small amount of money relative to the budget and get this shutdown averted. But on the other hand, I think if I'm not in America, I'm in Poland, so I'm not seeing what's happening. Nobody has contacted me saying they're in trouble because the government shut down. And I think a lot of people are recognizing that there is a lot of waste and a lot of people that quote unquote work for the government that we just don't need. I just read a report that I think some 46,000 IRS agents or IRS employees were ordered to return back to work, and many of them are refusing to return back to work. Hey, that's good news for everybody. You want to help us out, shut down the IRS, right? End the theft of working people to give to poor people, because poor people don't pay taxes, right? Some 47% of Americans do not pay federal income tax, which is really absurd. I mean, I can understand paying like $1 minimum, but if you're getting, you're getting federal benefits, you should be paying some kind of taxes, right? I mean, that's the whole crazy thing about this. So we're going to see what's happening. This is just really insane. Some of the stuff that we're seeing happening. Hopefully it'll be resolved. And if not, the government will just remain shut down. I don't know for how long how much longer, but it does appear that the president is not budging, and everybody who supports the president is asking him to, stay tough and not capitulate to the Democrats. Man, my system is so slow right now. I'm trying to get my screen back. So anyhow, this has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, reporting to you live and unscripted. Oh, I got my screen back. Good. And it's now working correctly. Reminding you to stay alert, see what's going on, and remember to always make it happen for the captain. Oh, come on. Come on. It's not responding. By the way, I finally got my MacBook. It was a 2011, late 2011 or something like that. Returned from repair. It didn't cost that much, thank God. It's a lot cheaper than buying a new one. No need for me to buy anything new. And so I'll be able to stream from that laptop in the future. But thank you again for watching, and remember to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain. Thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and thumb it up. It really helps. This has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, reporting to you live and unscripted. Reminding you to always make it happen.